Dramatic rescue after house collapses in Landslide. Why Auckland residents are now calling on the council to do more. How Supercity begins its massive clean-up while recovery flights jet off. And how a marine heatwave could be devastating for our ecosystem. Antamaria, I'm Sherry Kinnear, and these are the latest New Zealand Herald headlines. Rescuers have described the moment they found an elderly couple miraculously alive after a massive cliff landslide engulfed an Auckland beach house. The elderly woman was buried for more than 2 hours and 2 others were injured after a house was totally demolished by mud and rock at Manukau Heads. It comes as more than 160 red notices have been issued to Auckland buildings, deeming them unsafe, with as many as 6,000 more properties still to be assessed. It's left many Auckland residents calling on the council to do more.
We really want the council to buy our properties back and demolish them and not build here again.
Meanwhile, Air New Zealand is adding more flights to clear its backlog. Almost 9,000 customers were impacted after Auckland Airport's international terminal flooded and was forced to shut down. Our national carrier has announced recovery flights for those stranded, with almost all the disrupted passengers now rebooked. And there's fears a storm of hardship will follow wild weather in flood-affected areas. Auckland Action Against Poverty wants the Ministry of Social Development to pause benefit sanctions and double hardship payments. Coordinator Brooke Stanley-Powell says she'd like to see increased accessibility for payment systems from Civil Defence and MSD.
It's quite hard for people who have English as their second language, so we just want to make sure that all the information that's coming out from Working Income and Civil Defence is accessible. That includes people with disabilities.
Looking ahead, there will be some rain watches in place today for the Coromandel Peninsula, the Hunua Ranges, Bay of Plenty, Tasman and Westland. Auckland can expect more rain with heavy falls possible, especially from this evening. In other headlines, there's faith it isn't too late to rescue the country's Three Waters reform. The Labour Party's latest reshuffle has been well received, with Kieran McAnulty to take over Nanaia Mahuta's portfolio as local government minister. New Prime Minister Chris Hipkins says he's taking another look at the reforms and discussion around the issue needs to be reset. And concerns New Zealand's marine heatwave could have a disastrous impact on our sea life. New research from Wellington's Victoria University shows the heatwave has wiped out the Fiordland sea sponge population by up to 10%. Professor James Bell says there won't be plenty of fish in the sea if more sponges die out. He says the waste they produce gets eaten by other animals, so a declining sponge population could be serious for the whole ecosystem. And those are the latest New Zealand Herald headlines. For more stories and to stay up to date, head to nzherald.co.nz. Kia pai te rā. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here. And head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.